Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the 61st ever live chat on the channel, which is just wild. Where's the time going? It is June 15th, 2022. It seems like just last year. I think we started doing this in June of last year, honestly. So it might be like a 1 year anniversary of starting to do this. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about on the channel. Before we get to that, we currently have 3,535 subscribers. If you're watching, you're not subscribed to the channel, go subscribe to the channel. As always, don't forget to like the stream. I've seen a lot of you guys already have. I appreciate you very, very much. And if you haven't checked it out yet, check it out after the stream. I have a prediction video for Calving Kattar versus Josh Emmett. I also have the first ever interview on the channel. Chris Curtis joined me. I released it earlier today. If you watched it, I hope you enjoyed it. I plan on trying to do more in the future. I don't know how many more or anything like that, but I appreciate you guys for watching it. If you have, it's been nothing but positive feedback so far for the interview. But let's get into some questions, guys. Put the questions in the chat. I appreciate you guys. We'll talk about UFC 275. We already talked about that a bit on the Sunday stream that we did. Weili Zhang versus Carla Esparza. UFC Austin. They're all in the title. There's been talk. It looks like we're going to get Jose Aldo versus Merab Dvalishvili. So we can talk about that as well. And I'm sure there's stuff that I'm forgetting off the top of my head right now. But we'll get to all your questions in the chat. Let me see something really quick before we do this. Okay, let's see. Good morning. Here is 2 a.m. I am on graveyard shift. How about you start with Aldo Merab? See? Aldo Merab, thank you for your insights. Always. Come on, man. What are we going on? What's going on with that? But Merab versus Aldo. I don't necessarily hate the fight like a lot of people do hate the fight. I mean, it's two top bantamweights going at it. Merab, as good as he is and as highly touted as some people think Merab is, his best win is over Marlon Moraes in a fight that he almost got stopped in. Let me just double check that real quick. Make sure I'm not forgetting something off the top of my head. Merab. I just butchered typing that. Merab Dvalishvili. Let's see. What's his last fight? Yeah, Marlon Moraes at UFC 266. So Aldo is a massive step up for him. And Jose Aldo is still one of the best in the world. One of the best featherweights, one of the best featherweights of all time, and I think he's one of the best bantamweights of all time. I think I would favor Jose Aldo over Aljamain Sterling. I would favor Jose Aldo over a lot of guys within the top 10. He beat Rob Font not that long ago. It's going to be a tough fight because Jose Aldo does start to wear down later in fights, and Merab has great pace and great cardio. But I think Jose Aldo gets it done there. I would have liked to seen like maybe Aldo versus, I don't know. There's so many different configurations you could do with the bantamweight division as they are right now. But I kind of wanted to see Merab versus Petr Yan. That's the fight that I wanted to see, just because it's Aljamain Sterling's teammate. So, what's going on, Goat? Hope you're doing well. Who should Corey Sandhagen fight next? Who should Corey Sandhagen? I should always have the UFC rankings up. I don't know why I don't. So, let's see. Merab is, so if Merab's fighting Aldo, who is Marlon? Doesn't Marlon have a fight? Who does Marlon recently have a fight against? Marlon Vera versus, it's Dominic Cruz. Okay, I didn't even need to pull that up. I just remembered off the top of my head. So Marlon's fighting Dominic Cruz. It looks like it's going to be Sandhagen Yan too. If TJ Dillashaw gets the shot, unless they give Yan the shot, then it would be no. They're not going to do Sandhagen TJ too. So it looks like it. My best guess would be Piotr Yan versus Corey Sandhagen too, or maybe wait for some of the division to play out a little bit. Blaze One, thank you for being a member. White Magic, long time, dude. What's been happening? Nothing out of the ordinary. Hope you're doing well. Saw the interview. I'm a huge fan of Chris now. Great interview, man. Thank you, Tyler. I'm glad that you are a huge fan of Chris. Chris is great. I mean, it was a great interview, too. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I thought it was good, but it's always great hearing from you guys that it was good. Yan versus Sandhagen, too. There isn't a lot of options. Yeah, that's what I took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was thinking, but maybe he's going to sit out for a little while. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't mind seeing that again. Thank you, Blaze One Sports. Appreciate you. Zabit officially announced his retirement. Has this not been going on for like 2 years now? I feel like every few months, Zabit's retired. Zabit's retired. I know we've definitely talked about this in the past. It's sad to see such a talent go, and I always wanted to see Zabit come back. And I always hoped like some of these stories were, untrue. And there's been a couple stories rumoring that Zabit Magomedsharipov is coming back. But according to the latest report, which seems like the 26th one, it seems like he's really done. So it is what it is. There's nothing we can do. The one that got away, Zabit Magomedsharipov versus Yair Rodriguez, was a fight that I was dying to see. Got scheduled 3 or 4 times, canceled 3 or 4 times. Crazy. Great interview. Would you pass up an interview being that you had some choice words for the guy, leg health? Would I pass up an interview? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Joey, who do you have in Ortega versus Rodriguez? Got Ortega 4th round sub. Early prediction, probably have... I flip back and forth on this one. I could see Rodriguez outstriking him, but at the same time, if Ortega gets him down, it's not going to be good. But I'll go Rodriguez outstriking him. Merab has the biggest comeback win over an overhill Marlon. Now he's fighting a killer like Aldo. Yeah. Very true. And if it would have been a different ref, that Marlon fight would have been stopped probably. Gilbert Burns said he would sign a no takedowns contract to fight Jorge, but even then I think people really underrate Jorge's boxing, and then I think he could beat Burns on the feet. Thoughts? I think Gilbert Burns has striking to go be very competitive against Jorge Masvidal on the feet. But Jorge does have some good power, and Gilbert has been rocked quite a few times. So it's a tough fight. It's a tough fight. Definitely, obviously, that's an advantage to Jorge Masvidal, and I don't think a contract would ever exist. But I think Gilbert's just saying that. But if they get into an MMA fight and he gets rocked, he's going to be looking for a takedown for sure. Aldo versus Merab being 3 rounds is huge for Aldo. Agreed 100%. And also, it's just Aldo knowing that it's 3 rounds, knowing that he doesn't have to go 5 is great. Is great for. I'm so glad that this is going to be on a pay-per-view, and I'm happy that it's going to be 3 rounds because it's a massive advantage for Jose Aldo, in my opinion. But this is a big test for Merab. I mean, the best win is the Marlon win. Let me actually add this too. I could probably fit this in the Aldo versus Merab. I can add that to the title of the video. Let's throw that in there. That's actually newer news. So we'll get to the other stuff. I'll save that. Could see them doing Yudong versus Sandhagen. Yudong is on a little streak right now. Makes sense. That's another great fight. I want to see Yudong against any of the top guys. I wouldn't mind seeing Yudong against Merab or Marlon Vera. I know they fought before, but it's a different fight now. Carla, enjoy that belt while you still can. Carla's already borderline ducking her. She's saying she's going to fight me on my timeline, not hers. Yeah, you better relinquish that belt. you better relinquish that belt real quick because Weili Zhang's taking that belt for sure. This is weird. It didn't pop up in StreamYard. It should have popped up in StreamYard. But while I see it on the YouTube chat, Fight Life Nation, thank you for the 10 months of membership. Hey, Joey, what's your thoughts on Jake Matthews? Looks like a completely different fighter. Took a long time off, came back. I think a lot of us were overestimating Andre Fialho's striking ability, but Jake Matthews looked better than ever. That's not the same Jake Matthews that went to a tough decision against Diego Sanchez. The guy looks much improved everywhere. The striking looked crisp. It looked on point. The power looked good. The decision-making looked good. I was very impressed, and I can't wait to see where he goes next within the division. I mean, Fialho almost beat Michel Pereira on short notice. Fialho, or Pereira is ranked within the top 15 right now. So Jake Matthews is legit. And to witness that type of improvement, regardless if the fact that a lot of us, I think, were overrating Fialho a little bit. I mean, he still looked great. And I think that was a big statement win. A lot of people were doubting him. And, I mean, it was great. It was great for sure. And, the striking looked on point for sure. Completely different fighter, honestly. Okay, let's see where I was at now in the chat. For some reason, that didn't pop up in here. Aldo is one of the best pound-for-pound anti-wrestlers. He's impossible to take down. Corey is honestly in a bad spot. He might have to go way down in the ranks and fight. He's fought everyone that isn't scheduled. Yeah, he might sit out and wait and find himself in a better spot, He might not fight the rest of the year. He might take off a little while or something. When's the last time Sandhagen fought? There's no way it was the Corey fight, was it? Corey Sandhagen? Was that it? The TJ Dillashaw fight? Is what I meant. No, it's Piotr Jan. 267 October. So he is due to fight. He's been out a while. That's crazy. 6.5, 7, 8 months. 8.5 months he's been out. Jeez, I'm sad that he doesn't already have a fight announced, honestly. If Nick Diaz really wanted to come back and fight, should they do Nick versus Wonderboy since Wonderboy doesn't have any fight lined up? No. I don't want to see Nick fight anyone. Go to Eagle FC if that's what you want to do. Fight Diego Sanchez or something. Yeah, they told the UFC today that he's officially retired. There you go. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. Ankalaev's coming for the belt. He's probably next in line if he's able to defeat Anthony Smith. I always thought Zabit was going to fight for the featherweight belt. It seemed like he was destined for it. For sure. I meant, would you pass up a Sean interview? Why would I pass it up? I definitely wouldn't do a Sean. If you guys think I would do a Sean interview and try to be disrespectful to him, I would not do that. I would not be disrespectful to him. I would ask him about it for sure. And it's not like I wouldn't be disrespectful to him because of fear or anything like that. I just don't think that's right to try to bring someone on to interview and almost look to clout chase, In my opinion, the bringing somebody on and trying to look for a got you moment or something like that and trying to be funny and this and that is a pink suit guy move. And while I laughed initially at the pink suit guy when he did the Conor McGregor line, that guy is one of the most annoying people in MMA media. I still see him on Twitter. He's constantly at the press conference looking for his cheesy one-liners. He's irrelevant. He's such a weirdo. And I would not even want to come close to that. So if you think I would invite O'Malley on, I mean, not that O'Malley would even come on, but and disrespect him, no, I would not do something like that. I'd ask him fair questions. But yeah, some people, if that even happened, which I don't know if that's even in the realm of possibility, people will be like, "Oh, you were scared. No, it's just not right. You don't ask somebody for their time and then try to be disrespectful to them. Yeah, that interview was good news for you. You made it to the pro leagues. Okay. What's up, Sinister? I could be wrong. Cater was like plus 275 underdog a month ago. Now he's the favorite. I have no idea. I don't pay super close attention. Duraev says he is standing with Buckley. If so, will most likely go to sleep. Is anybody else tired? I am sick and tired of seeing the Joaquin Buckley spinning back kick KO of Impa Kasangane. I am so tired of seeing that. They have beat it to death over and over and over. It's actually infuriating. I seen it on Instagram again, and I literally wanted to just stop watching MMA forever. That knockout will never be cool to me again. I'm so tired of seeing it and the UFC stuffing it down our throats. Like, seriously, it's actually infuriating. If Aldo beats Merab, he's probably getting a title shot. Yep, I agree. How do you think Jones versus Blades plays out? That's going to be a tough fight because Blades is so big. I think Jones can stuff the takedown. I think Blades could clip him and put him out, but I think Jones picks him apart from range and wins. I think that's what happens. Islam versus RDA, who wins? I'll say Islam, but that's a tough matchup. Did you see Chandler tweet telling Alves to defend or vacate? And we know he's the champ, but technically not. Yeah, very true. No, I did not see him tweet that. But Oliveira just fought. Come on now. He's gonna fight. He's gonna fight in another. He's gonna fight in a while. Joey, if Luke loses to Costa, I wouldn't mind him moving up to 205 and fight Anthony Smith. I like that fight. Hill too. Yeah, but Costa's chin is just terrible. Or not Costa's, Luke. Luke's chin is terrible. I don't trust him at light heavyweight at all. Smith's putting him to sleep. So's Hill. So you must have a fetish with watching Luke Rockhold get KO'd. So, does Gane versus Ty fight go the distance? If it does, I feel like it would be 50-44 type of deal. Yes. I think it probably... No. I'm going to say Gane finishes him. I think Gane picks him apart, clips him with the big shot, finishes him, and wins the fight. So no, but if it does, it's going to be a bad, like a fairly dominant decision win for Gane if it does go to decision. No way Tai Tuivasa wins via decision for sure. For sure. Aldo will most likely be the backup fighter for Aljo TJ in Utah. Have they announced that fight yet? But maybe. Maybe they put them all on the same card. I think UFC will give O'Malley one more fight before a title shot. If he beats Munoz, maybe Jan. But I don't know if the UFC would risk it. Yeah, I don't know. They're going to try to baby him on the way to a title shot for sure. Corey should fight Rob Font. They're both coming off losses, so it kind of makes sense. Did you watch the Kevin Lee versus Diego fight, and what were your thoughts? Kevin Lee just looks worse by the week. But yes, I did watch. Pink suit guy got ruined by Colby, though. I don't remember that. Saw pink suit guy has a cameo. Like, who cares about that guy? He's the most irrelevant guy to exist ever. Biggest clout chaser I've ever seen in my life. Do you think that Figgy would actually go up to 135? Yes. Do I think he would have success? No. So, since Hamzat and Dustin are both begging for a fight, I say put them together in October. Stop it. Hamzat would wreck him. Why are we trying to put Dustin in fights that aren't competitive when there's a bunch of options that are competitive? I don't want to see Dustin versus Hamzat. I don't want to see Dustin versus Colby Covington. Dustin can go fight Chandler. Dustin can fight the winner of RDA Fiziev. Dustin can fight Gaethje for a second time. Dustin can fight Nate Diaz. There's a bunch of options. Why book these non-competitive options? Duraev said anyone outside the top 5 is an easy fight. Lamau, this can end badly. Yeah. I have PTSD of that kick. Yeah, I don't ever want to see it again. Buckley kick is Pettis cage kick for this generation. No, it's... Jeez Louise, it's actually infuriating. I really don't... I can't watch it anymore. Buckley got starched by Kevin Holland. I can remember Holland schooled him. Yep, it was a nasty KO. I think it was a straight right. Do you think Andrade is a way tougher opponent for Fury? Or Fury? Yes. But who knows? Maybe Manning can get a massive win over Jessica Andrade and earn like a title shot. What's up, Keep Out? Hope you're doing well. I feel like the UFC and Jiri should be smart and do a rematch with Glover and whenever they can because Glover can't afford to wait 2 years. Yeah, but you say be smart. I think the UFC doesn't want Glover getting that belt back. So they're going to look for a different matchup, and like if he loses to Ankalaev, they don't mind having Ankalaev as a champion. James, what's going on? Great first interview with Chris Curtis. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Now back to video editing, but wanted to stop in. I really do appreciate it, man. Thank you, and thank you for all the advice you've given me in the past, man. Emmett and Vettori are undefeated in Middle Earth. I don't know what you're getting at there. But okay. I think if they put Aldo versus TJ on the same card as Jose Merab, because Aldo can be the backup and Merab comes with Aljamain Sterling anyways. There you go. That makes total sense for me. That makes total sense to me. If Pedro Munoz dropped down to flyweight, how much success would he have? I don't know, man. It depends how much that weight cut affected him. You know, he's known for his granite chin. Is his chin affected that way? But Pedro is one of those guys that is very small for bantamweight. But he's super stocky, so I don't know. Pink suit guy has a target on Conor, and he's chasing clout. Yeah, it's actually really annoying. We should all sign a petition to get pink suit guy media license taken away. I don't know about all that. I wouldn't be campaigning. I don't want to campaign for anyone to lose their job. But the guy's annoying as hell. How do you see Sean versus Yadong? That's a very interesting fight. I see Yadong knocking him out, man. Yadong's just so fast and powerful. But Sean has KO power too. I mean, they're two guys with nasty power at 135. Will Lewis knock out Sergio Pavlovich? Yes. I'll say yes. Derek Lewis just has the touch of death in both of his hands. Unfortunately, I could see Glover getting matched up with Rockage when both come back for a fight night main event. It could be, but Rockage is going to be out for a while. It's going to be out for a while, for sure. So, we'll see how long it lasts. Guys, as always, make sure to like the stream. If you haven't liked the stream yet, that's how it gets pushed out to more people. I would greatly appreciate it. Let me X out of this. Don't need this. I always end up with literally a million tabs opened up on the screen. So let me exit out some of these. If you guys want to support the channel, become a member. You get to join our members only Discord. If you were a member in the members Discord, you knew I was interviewing Chris Curtis yesterday. You've known for a couple weeks that I was interviewing him soon. But you also get a bunch of other benefits as well. Okay. Since they're in the title, keep the questions coming. I'll get back to the questions in a second. Since it's in the title, and I don't like to not do stuff that's in the title, let's do a UFC 275 quick recap. I know we've already beat these fights to death, but the main event was so good that it's worth talking about again. I even talked about it a little bit in my Chris Curtis interview. Okay, UFC 275 results. The main event, Jiri Prochazka wins via 5th round rear naked choke. A couple comments about this that I feel like I haven't made yet. I've seen a lot of people going down the conspiracy theory hole with this, saying Glover, it was fixed. You know, Glover, he didn't even have the hooks in on Glover and blah, blah, blah. And it was 30 seconds to go. He couldn't defend a choke with 30 seconds to go. You are disconnected from reality if you think that. You are delusional. Glover Teixeira gave everything he had in that fight. The reason the reason I believe that he looked for the guillotine, which wasn't a smart move, is because he was exhausted. He could not throw any more punches. Okay? The whole entire fight, Glover knew that his jiu-jitsu and his submission skills were far superior than Jiri Prochazka. And I think at the end of the fight, 30 seconds to go, you're 24 and a half minutes into the fight, Glover did not think that Jiri would look for that rear naked choke. And he just happened to snatch it up. The rear naked choke was perfect. Glover didn't have the energy to try to scramble out of it. So if you think that this was some kind of fix, stop watching MMA. We don't want you anymore. And you're disconnected from reality. Glover was exhausted and he had gave everything he had. And, you know, there's been a couple people that have, you know, speculated that, oh, Glover Teixeira just straight up quit. And again, factually incorrect. The guy gave everything he had to put Jiri Prochazka out What an amazing fight. Give old man Glover the respect that he deserves. 42 years old. Going out there and fighting Jiri Prochazka the way he did. Winning 4 out of 5 rounds, basically. That's a little bit weird to say because of the rear naked choke. But had it gone to decision, Glover clearly won the 5th round. The only round that Jiri clearly won was round 3. So outside of that, I think Glover took all of them. I thought they were pretty clear. 2 was a little bit debatable, but I think Glover stole it with the full mount at the end. We did a rewatch on the Discord. And, you know, it was a great performance by Glover. I know Anthony Smith came out and said it was the worst performances. I don't know what exactly he meant by that. I need more context to that. But I think they both fought great. They made mistakes, obviously, but you're fighting at the highest level. There's going to be mistakes are going to be made. I'm super impressed with Jiri's grappling ability. His grappling deficiencies were vastly overstated in the lead up to this fight. And, I mean, I can't wait to see Jiri's fight next. I don't know, if I want to see the Glover rematch right away. I do feel for Glover because he's getting up there in age. But it's one of those things where I get it. It's not going to live up to the hype. It's not going to live up to the hype of the first fight. And also, I don't think the UFC wants it. I think they're going to do Jiri Prochazka versus the winner of Magomed Ankalaev versus Anthony Smith, which is at UFC 277 in July. And they will probably not meet till early next year, would be my guess. I don't think Jiri fights again this year. Valentina Shevchenko versus Talia Santos. I think Shevchenko clearly won. You don't win the fight by taking someone down and doing no damage. Based on the scoring criteria. I thought it was clear-cut for Valentina Shevchenko. People can be triggered. Talia Santos can claim she was robbed. Blah, blah, blah. You can't win a fight by covering someone's mouth and doing no damage. Essentially, it's just you're not fighting. You're not fighting. And it's your own fault. Talia Santos, it was her fight to lose. The way she fought, she didn't throw any strikes when she got to the ground. I don't remember her landing any good strikes on the ground, honestly. But it doesn't really matter. I don't necessarily want to see a rematch, but I definitely don't want to see Miesha Tate fight Valentina if she beats Lauren Murphy at 276. So I'd rather Santos get another shot. Weili Zhang, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Weili looked better than ever. And, the grappling looked super dominant in the first round. Comes out in the second round, lands the spinning back fish, sleeps Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and retires her. And it's the end of an era. Joanna Jędrzejczyk really did. Someone tweeted out, she put the women's straw weights on the map. And that is true. And she's been fighting forever. She's 34 years old. I respect her. She has already have one foot out the door. She's been sitting down for 2 years as it is. I think she came back with hopes that if she defeated Weili, she would get a shot at the title. She would grab the title off of Weili Zhang, or not Weili Zhang. She would grab the title off of Carla Esparza, and then she would retire and ride off into the sunset. And once that didn't happen, she's like, what am I fighting for, really? So I think it could be a permanent retirement, but we'll see. You know how MMA retirements are. Weili Zhang looked better than ever. She's going to beat the brakes off of Carla Esparza. If I was Carla Esparza, I relinquish that belt quick. Andre Fialho, Jake Matthews. We already talked about that on the stream today. Jake Matthews looked better than ever. Much improved. And that's a huge factor in something I look for future contenders and future champions. Is when you come out every performance and you look better, you look much improved. And Jake Matthews looked like he made leaps and bounds of improvements in this off time, in this training camp. Couldn't be impressed by the performance anymore. I'm actually happy that he got the main card spot after Manel Kopp fell off, because he deserved a main card spot with a performance like that. Jack Della Maddalena versus Ramazan Emeev. Great win. Fun fight. It was a fight that he was supposed to win, in my opinion. And an interesting prospect at welterweight. I don't know. It's too early to tell whether or not he's going to be a contender or a champion, But this was a solid start and a great performance. First round KO, not bad at all. I still don't think he should have been on the main card, but it is what it is. We got a great card. I'm not going to complain about it in retrospect. And I think I'm not going to spend. So there's the main card recap there for you guys. What are we doing here? I'm going back to the chat here. We're getting weird stuff in the chat. Come on, guys. We don't need this. We don't need this. You guys are just being strange. I don't understand why you guys still got to bring up other YouTubers. It's very, very weird. Okay, let's see if I can find where we were at in the chat. Okay. Unfortunately, okay, but that's the last thing we talked about was Glover getting matched up with Rakic. I'm not sure. I'm not sure because there is a chance that happens, but at the same time, Rakic is going to be out a while, but Glover's not super active, so. How far can Kevin Holland go in the welterweight division? He got top 10 in middleweight with no weight cut. He can't go far. Too many grapplers. There's too many grapplers at welterweight. I could see Aljamain Sterling playing mind games with TJ similar to when he fought Pedro Munoz talking about his PED use. I could see Aljamain playing mind games with TJ to when he fought Pedro Munoz talking about his PED use. Okay. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me if they're going to be playing mind games when you're in a big spot like that. I have to disagree, Joey. Yudong isn't that powerful amount. He's just so quick, and if you don't see a shot, he will KO you. Okay, I think he's powerful. I think he has some nasty KO power. No, Glover received a beating that took years. That took something, so he is 55 years old, and I don't think he could ever win again. We'll see. Who knows? That Jiri beating... The beating that Jiri put on Glover and the beating that Glover put on Jiri could have changed. It could have been career altering for both guys. Does the winner of Aldo versus Dvalishvili fight Piotr Yan next? I'll say no. I don't know what's going to happen. The bantamweight division is so stacked. What do you do with Cody Garbrandt? His gimme fight, Ronnie Yaya pulled out. I don't know, man. I saw that. I actually meant to ask Chris Curtis about that in our interview, and I forgot about it. And we actually talked about it off air per se in the interview, and it sucks because it was a great matchup for Cody to get back on track. I hope, and Chris' thoughts were maybe Yaya isn't injured that much. He doesn't know. He didn't have any inside knowledge of it because Cody Garbrandt now trains at Extreme Couture with Curtis and all those guys. And maybe Yaya isn't injured that badly, and Cody maybe, can just postpone the fight and still fight him. That might do Glover versus Yan 2 if they give Ankalaev the title shot. They could very well. That's a great fight as well. I know Gabe Stevenson went to WWE, but how do you think he would have fared in the heavyweight division? I have no idea. I'm not sure, man. What do you think of Conor versus Dustin Till? Are you now? I don't know if you're a little bit confused or not, or because sometimes people forget about the original fight way back when. The second fight is when he KO'd Dustin at UFC 257. I thought it was a great performance by Dustin. I think he chopped the legs, but I also think a lot of people give the finish credit for calf kicks. But there was a massive right hand that wasn't shown kind of because of the camera angle that rocked Conor and started the sequence of him being swarmed. I got canceled. I've gotten canceled for saying Glover quit. Stop it. What would you think of Conor if he retired from MMA after the Floyd fight and stuck to boxing? I don't know. It would have been sad. But how do you see Aldo versus Figgy? And if this fight happens, will you tune in? And do you see Figgy becoming two-time champ? No, Figgy's going to have too many issues. Too many issues at bantamweight. And I think Aldo just out-wrestles him and wins the fight. What do you think of Khamzat to the welterweight route to the title instead of the middleweight route? Why do you think Khamzat took? Because I think the welterweight route was more doable. That's why I think. So, that fight was an instant classic. I agree. I feel like maybe Glover, a rematch. He was seconds. He beat Yan Anthony Smith and was 28 seconds away from a 49-46, and Live has been born. It's fair enough. I don't disagree with you that he might have a claim to that, but whether or not the UFC does it is a whole nother question. All my casual friends wanted Jiri to win in the beginning, but switched to Glover after they saw him laughing between rounds. I mean, how can you dislike Glover, honestly? I mean, I like both guys. I like Jiri. Jiri does have a bit of a cultish fan base of a little bit of casuals, a little bit of people just like his fight style. I'm a Jiri fan. I'm a Glover fan. You know, they're both great fighters, but that's great that they changed their mind. Lewis versus Rosenstrike, who wins? I'll say Rosenstrike, but I don't know. Okay, it's funny because I'm going in that fight. I'm saying if Jiri touches Glover, he will go out, and if Glover gets Yuri's back, he's getting subbed. I know. I know. And it's crazy because both those happened. I screamed a million times. You know, it's over. And it was not over. 3-2 Santos. Okay. People need to understand control time is coasting. I don't know what you're saying. They're coasting. Damage comes first. Oh, I see. You should have been a period there. People don't need to understand control time is coasting. Damage comes first. Jiri versus Glover was a throwback fight. Henderson versus Shogun. Jones versus Alexander. And Vanderlei versus Liddell. Yeah, I mean, it was a great fight. Amazing. Can you say your trademark line, Weili beat the brakes out of you? Weili Zhang beat the brakes off of Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Would it be disrespectful for Bilal if Hamzat fight Nate in August, then fight him in October? If so, should Bilal wait for him? If I'm Bilal, that's the fight that I would want. You know, if you're confident you can win, that's the biggest fight you can get. Bro also sweeps and effective, gets points, and that's how the fight was the first 3 rounds. Yeah, but Valentina landed more shots even on the ground. Do you think Romero beat Whitaker in their second fight? Yes, I do. It was a close fight, but I scored it for Romero. Romero's lost a lot of close fights that could have went his way. Which fight is more interesting for you? Adesanya versus Muniz or Adesanya versus Rockhold? Depends how Rockhold looks against Costa, but probably Adesanya Rockhold right now. Muniz hasn't beat anyone. Muniz has looked good, but he hasn't beat anyone yet. Why does Adesanya get so much hate? In hindsight, Romero fight was smart. I thought the Vettori and Whitaker rematches were tactical. Not the most entertaining, but I enjoyed. There was already a lot of Adesanya hate before those boring fights. There was Adesanya hate when he fought Paulo Costa. There was Adesanya haters when he fought Kelvin Gastelum. It's just been amplified by the series of relatively uneventful fights. And I kind of get it to an extent, but you know, I just think Adesanya, to some people, his personality rubs them the wrong way. And I think that's why a lot of people crap on him a lot. But yeah, the Romero fight was garbage. The Whitaker and Vettori fights, I mean, you gotta fight both guys. And I mean, in all those fights. But I don't blame him. They were tactical, and he's getting the job done. Blame the challenger. That was the best card of the year thus far. I would agree with you. Yo, Joey, what's up? How was your day? It was good. I hope yours was good as well. Who could Pantoja beat in the top 5 at flyweight? Pantoja. Oh, that's tough, man. That's tough. Alexandre Pantoja. He's already beat a couple of these guys, I believe. Let's see who he has wins over. Doesn't he have a win over? Yeah, he already has a win over Brandon Royval, who's sitting at number 5. Number 4 is Askar Askarov. Doesn't he have a win over Askar? No, he has a loss to Askar Askarov. But wasn't that fight super close? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think he could beat Askar Askarov as well. Kai Kara France. I think he can compete with any of them. So, any of them basically. Also, do you think Carla is being underestimated against Weili? Like, what if she takes her down in Malls? No way, shape, or form. It's not happening. She's being underestimated, but rightfully so. She's going to get wrecked. What's up, Joey? How was your day? My day was great. Good to hear. Hope you're doing well. Thoughts on Chito earning a rematch finally with Sugar? He has not. He's not earned a rematch yet. Who wins, Aldo or Merab? I think Aldo does. Also, Weili getting a title shot is wild to me after losing 2 in a row. But if she wins, she definitely has to fight Rose. Weili, Namajunas 3. Yeah, I kind of get it, but the second Rose fight, arguably, she could have won. What do you think of Dan Henderson Bisping 2? I thought Dan Henderson won. I thought Dan Henderson won. I don't remember what rounds. It's been so long. MMA Joey can calf kick O'Malley to a comfortable 30-27 decision. Sure, I'll take on O'Malley. Joe, I don't know if you remember, but I asked you a question about how would Usman do in the middleweight division. Well, I'm going to ask you something about Colby. How would Colby do in that division? Colby would not do well. He would get wrecked by Adesanya. He would get wrecked by Whitaker. He'd lose to everyone. He'd lose to everyone. I don't see him beating anyone really in that top 5. Now, I'm not necessarily super confident in Usman's chances against any of them either. I think Usman probably loses to all of them as well. But who knows? Holy crap, it just jumped down. I'm behind, guys. Keep the questions coming. I'm trying to catch up to the chat now. By the way, guys, look, we got 40 people in here. We have 15 likes on the stream. Run up the likes on the stream. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers before the end of the month. I don't know if it's possible, but we're going to make it possible. So go subscribe to the channel. Why is UFC still talking about Khamzat Nate? Love both guys, but no interest in that fight. I agree. Nate on 2-fight losing streak. Khamzat has star power. Vindictive matchmaking. There you go. You answer your own question. Vindictive matchmaking. They want Nate, if he's going to fight out his contract, they want him to get destroyed by Khamzat on his last fight to devalue him and get leverage. Joe, I don't know if you remember. Okay, answer that. Romero's arguably undefeated in the UFC. I've made this argument before too, Goat. I agree. Who wins, Leon versus Dustin? Leon wins. Too big, too strong, too technical, and would out-grapple him as well. Rose versus Marina, Fight Night main event. Makes sense next. I love that idea. Which win carries more weight, Islam over Hooker or Beneil over Tony? Beneil over Tony. I think the belt is good, but it will cloud his head and he will do interviews. Jiri achieved his belt by isolating himself in the forest. Okay. Fair enough. I hope we don't have to wait to December to watch Carla versus Zhang. Hopefully they do it in October. Carla's already shown that she doesn't want that fight. It wouldn't surprise me if we got a Geraint Durandamine Chris Cyborg situation where they got a stripper because she doesn't want to fight her. I know you hate pound-for-pound rankings just as much as me. I just got to bash it one more time. Why the hell is Dustin ranked number 7 over other champions? He's 3-2 in his last 5. The pound-for-pound is a joke. It's super subjective, and it doesn't really make sense, in my opinion, a lot of times. Does Kevin Holland matter? I mean, he's fun to watch, but he will never be a contender. Yeah. I guess, he's fun to watch. I mean, he's going to be relevant. I think he's exciting. I think there's some fun matchups for him. But he'll never be a contender, I don't think, especially at welterweight. Love Rose to death, but keep her far away from that title for a while. I don't ever want to see Rose fight again after that shit stain of a performance. Who wins Usman versus Whitaker? I say Whitaker wins. I can see Dillashaw versus Aldo for the belt next year. Dying to see that fight. Could very well happen. I favor Dillashaw to beat Aljo, and I favor Aldo to beat Merab Dvalishvili. Have Rose beat Marina. That's the fight I want to see. Who else would like to interview or sit down and talk to past or present? I have no idea, to be honest. I haven't even put that much thought into it. It's like a secondary thing I'm doing on my channel. I'm trying to continue the content, continue the opinion videos, continue the prediction videos, continue the breakdowns, all that good stuff. Cover the news. The interviews are like a secondary thing. And I'm going to set a goal to try to do, I don't know, X amount per month or something like that in the near future, but I'm not I'm very bad at, and it's funny using the word bad, but I'm very hesitant. I just don't, I feel weird messaging people online and be like, hey man, come on my channel and let me interview you. I feel really weird. Chris gave me the perfect opportunity, and I have to do more of it with other fighters, but it's tough for me. Merit-wise, what is better to do? Jiri versus Ankalaev in Abu Dhabi or Jiri versus Yan in Poland? If Ankalaev beats Smith, then Ankalaev. If Izzy and Pajeda both win, will this be the... Yes, 100%. Will Zhang be the biggest favorite that is a title challenge against Carla? Probably. I mean, Weili Zhang wrecks her in every respect. Carla's not out grappling her, and she damn sure ain't out striking her. And Weili's not going to sit around like Rose Namajunas did. Weili's going to go out there and beat the brakes off of Carla. Thoughts on Patricky Pitbull's next fight? Who's he fighting? I did see this, but now I forgot that quick. Patricky Pitbull. He just got announced today to take on Sydney Outlaw. I think Patricky Pitbull. I think his I think his brother's a little bit more high level in my opinion. Sydney Outlaw. I'm trying to remember his last fight. I'm trying to look it up real quick. Sydney Outlaw. Let's see. What was his last fight? Miles Jury, rear naked choke. I watched this fight. I think I even watched it on stream. I suspect that Pitbull will win. But it's a decent fight. It's not a bad fight. From what I remember, Bisping Henderson 2. Bisping won the whole fight and almost got knocked unconscious last 10 seconds. I don't remember the whole thing, but Dan Henderson landed the H-bomb a couple times. Somehow, Bisping kept surviving. Who would have done better against Khabib, Holloway or Tony? Neither, dude. Both would have got wrecked. They rank wins over Conor and Max than a belt. Okay. Joe, do you think Cody Garbrandt is elite bantamweight? I feel like he was, but not anymore. I feel like he's a gimme fight. I think his skills are elite, but his chin's a massive liability. Thoughts on Tai Tuivasa versus Cyril Gane? Cyril Gane's going to outclass him. Ty's got to get a first-round KO. What's going on, man? Would you say Leon Edwards' chin is suspect? I don't know, man. He got caught on the end of the punch. I don't know. Maybe a little, but I don't know. I really enjoyed the Chris Curtis interview. You did a great job. Did you do lots of research before the interview? Did you watch his past fight? I've watched all his past fights. So I didn't really do a ton of research. I already knew pretty much. But like I knew I was doing it. So in the last week or so, I just rewatched his last 2 UFC fights. But I knew pretty much the trajectory of his career. And, you know, I'm confident on my MMA knowledge enough to kind of go in there. So kind of, but not really. So, yeah, I just kind of refreshened up on it a little bit. And I already kind of had an idea of some of the questions I wanted to ask him. So there you go. I'm glad you enjoyed the interview. I've heard nothing but positive things about the interview. So appreciate your guys' positive feedback. So apparently it's something you guys love to see on the channel. So I appreciate it. Do you think we are going to see Curtis Blaydes slowly step out of his wrestling game and turn into a striker first now? Kind of like how Usman is. I doubt it. No. Who could Cejudo beat in bantamweight's top 5? Sterling? Maybe Sterling. I think he loses to Petr Yan. I think he could beat Dillashaw, but it's tough to say. The Jose Aldo fight, 5 rounds he could win. Sandhagen he could out-wrestle. He would beat Marlon Vera. I mean, he has a chance against any of them. Honestly. I would pick him to beat Aljamain Sterling. I would pick him to lose to Petr Yan, early prediction. I would pick 50-50 against TJ Dillashaw. I'll pick him to beat Dillashaw. I picked him the first time, but that was at flyweight. I'll probably pick him to beat Aldo, not because that Aldo's skills, but because of I think Aldo would get finished in the later rounds. I think he'd start off very good, and get finished later on. But Aldo could finish him early. And, I'm not married to that prediction. I could change it. I think he probably out-wrestled Corey Sandhagen. But maybe Corey Sandhagen has drastically improved that hole in his game. And he would definitely beat Marlon Vera for sure. Definitely beat Marlon Vera for sure. Would you start a war with another YouTube channel? What do you mean by that? I'm not going to go out of my way. I'm just trying to do me. I'm not trying to chase clout off of anyone else. And I think when you sit there and you try to bash other people's channels, regardless of what you think of them or not think of them, which, I mean, I don't pay attention to too many channels that would even know who I am anyway. I think you're just a clout chaser. And I think it's just a bad look in general. So no. But I guess if someone was really, going at my throat for some reason, I don't see why they would. I'm not gonna sit there and accept it. Why do you ask? That's a weird question. If Leon Edwards was stranded on a desert island, he would say, I believe I deserve the title shot next. That's 10 fights. The dude does deserve the title shot next. He's accepted top-level competition over and over again. But the fights have fallen out for reasons out of his control. I heard Alex Pajeda coach got word from the UFC. I thought that was already known. But yes. I 100% still have Rose beating Weili. She beat Joanna, but Rose already knocked her out and beat her again in her prime. I would pick Weili over Rose for the third time. Maybe I'd be wrong again, but I'd pick Weili. Bellator lightweight is weak. AJ McKee could take the belt if he wanted to. Probably. But he lost to the other Pitbull brother, so... When is PFL and will you be streaming? I have no idea. Probably not. Joe, what do you think of Jack Shore? Very interesting prospect. The bantamweight division is nasty, and I think he's a future contender in the bantamweight division. If Leon versus Khamzat fight was never canceled in the past, who do you think would have won, and where would that put the division today? I don't know. Originally, I would have picked Leon, but now that I have more information about Khamzat, I'd probably pick Khamzat. It would be a very interesting fight because Leon has good grappling defense and good grappling of his own. So it's a 50-50 fight. I'd probably pick Khamzat knowing what I know now. But back then, I would have picked Leon. Do you think Leon has a real chance against Usman? I saw someone had odds at plus 210. Yes, Leon has a legitimate chance. As a fan of Leon, I'm pretty sad if Usman KOs Leon. He's not going to KO Leon. I highly doubt that. Tony Ferguson been tweeting about welterweight. I've been wanting to see Ferguson versus Lawler for a long time. That's a great fight. That's a great fight, honestly. I wouldn't mind seeing that as well. Fantasy fights, who do you got in these fights? Izzy versus Prime Anderson. I'll take Prime Anderson all day. He's filthy. Also, how did you keep the interview coming up away from non-members? I was surprised. I mentioned it. I just didn't say who it was. I mentioned it. So... I mentioned it in multiple streams. You just might not have been here. And for those of you who were here during the stream when Chris Curtis popped in, you should have known anyway. So it was already almost a giveaway. Did you see Zabit officially retired? Yes, I did. Merab versus Aldo in the works. Zabit's a bit massive what if. I think he could have been a title contender. It's sad to see him go, but he's been retired for like 2 years. So it is what it is. Aldo versus Merab. I favor Aldo in a 3-rounder. What's the state of the heavyweight division if Jones versus Stipe happening? Is it for the interim undisputed? Is Ty versus Gane the number 1 contender? And also, is Francis ever returning? Let's take this piece by piece. Jones versus Stipe, if it does happen, will be for the interim heavyweight title, in my opinion. Ty versus Gane will not be a number 1 contender. It could be, but then you'll have the winner of Jones-Stipe fighting Ngannou. If he does return, which I think the UFC will find a way to work that out. And then the division will be in a different place at that point. So the winner of Jones-Stipe fights Ngannou, the winner of that fight would fight, someone who yet to be determined. Who's one fight back in the day that you would say had a chance to beat Khabib and you truly believed it? I thought Gaethje had a chance. I picked Khabib to beat Gaethje, but I thought Gaethje had a legit chance to beat Khabib. Who else? I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyone else? How would Patricio Pitbull Volk go? Volk would finish him. Who had a better career, Nate or Nick? I don't know. I haven't followed Nick's entire career because I only became an MMA fan. He's only fought like twice since I became an MMA fan. Nick has. Nick has titles in Strikeforce and whatnot, so I'll say Nick, but I don't know. Best submission game in UFC history, take your pick. Charles, Damian Maia, Dern, Oleinik, or Ortega. I'll say Charles or Damian Maia. If Masvidal fights Burns, who wins? I got Burns by murder. I think Burns out-grapples him. Utah seems pretty random for a pay-per-view. Good card, too. I think they've been there before. So I know it's kind of random, but I think they've been there before. So they're just going back. Who do you got in these fantasy fights? Rousey versus Weili at 125. I'll take Weili. Figgy versus Aldo. I'll take Aldo. Habib versus Prime Gap. I'm assuming you mean GSP. I'll take GSP at 165. Jones versus Fedor. I'll take Jones. Ty Gon winner will probably face Aspinall. Blades winner. That makes a lot of sense. Probably. Do you think Sterling versus Dillashaw will be at 278? Yes, I do. But you never know. But I think that's most likely will be the co-main event of UFC 278. Just watched the interview. You killed it, Brock. Congrats for sure. Curtis fan for life. Can't wait to see him live. Yeah. Dude, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I'm glad. Did it seem natural? That's what I'm always worried about. I can't tell because obviously I'm in the interview. So for me, it felt like, maybe it's because Chris is so outgoing, but it felt like we'd known each other. That's what it felt like to me in the interview. But I hope it came off to you guys the same way. And I've watched a lot of MMA interviews in my day, and I've seen a lot of ones that are a little bit cringy. So I hope mine wasn't cringy at all. So it is what it is. I've gotten nothing but positive feedback, so I'm happy for that. And, Chris, not this weekend, next weekend. I kicked myself after the fact. Well, there was a couple things I didn't ask him, but it was what it was. Nothing super important. I meant to tell him good luck on his fight on June 25th. So I forgot to say that. Good luck against Rodolfo Vieira at the end of the interview. So, and now my nose was itching like crazy. Weili Zhang, the biggest favorite, that is title holder against Carla Esparza. Yes. Are you aware that Charles is pretty much 50-50 blind in the octagon? I never knew, but he has prescription glasses he wears daily. I have heard of it. I have heard that he has bad vision, obviously. I know he wears glasses. Joe, what's the best calendar year for UFC? It's got to be 2016. McGregor Diaz, both fights. First MG card, UFC 200. 218 year of Habib McGregor, DC double champ. Good year, too. 2016 was really good. I think 2016 was probably it. Ronda could never make 125. Yeah, for sure. But she would get wrecked. Is Sterling versus TJ pay-per-view main event worthy? No. Do you believe UFC 279 will be at MSG headlined by Jones Miocic? I think that's most likely. I think it'll probably be in Vegas. Zabit retiring sucks. I agree. For sure, natural. It was like a nice back and forth podcast. I'm glad to hear. Thank you. There was talks about Justin versus Dustin at 278. Would the UFC stack another card like that, or would they try to spread it out more? I think it's possible, but my guess is they'll spread it out more. They'll make that like a fight night main event if they do make it. I have a small request for your future interviews to divide your questions into parts with labeling every part. It would be easier for viewers to choose. This is the second time. Nothing against you. The second time somebody commented something like this. There's timestamps in the description. I watched the full interview. Obviously, I watched it. I watched the entire thing when I edited it. And then I went back, watched it again, and added timestamps. In the description of the interview, there's timestamps of every question I asked him. So, no big deal. But next time, look in the description for timestamps. Leon is super underrated. He is the favorite to win because I think he figured out how to fight Usman for years. And he now has narrowed down the answer, and he will pull the upset. Okay. I mean, Leon Edwards is definitely underrated. Definitely can get the job done. What would you like to see next for Masvidal? Probably far-fetched, but maybe him versus Shavkat if he beat Magny. Absolutely not. That's not going to happen either. I would like to see Jorge Masvidal versus Conor McGregor. That's the fight that I want to see. Who do you think will be on UFC 300 card? Too far away, man. Too far away. We know the UFC will stack it with crazy. It's like literally 3 years away. It's not going to happen. It's 276. So it's not going to happen till roughly summer of 2024. So it's a year and a half away. It's not 3 years away. So it's way too early to tell. There could be totally different stars by then. So no idea. Can't even answer that question. Can't even begin. Is the UFC 276 stream confirmed? I'm 50-50 on it. I'm debating on it. I got the new monitor, so it's a little bit better than watching on my laptop. We'll see. We'll see. We got fight cards coming all summer long. More fight nights outside the Apex. Austin this weekend. Long Island, London. Again, Apex cards slowly coming to an end. Yes, for sure. Yeah, Justin and Dustin would probably be UFC 278. Trevor's fighters are usually on the same card. Well, there you go. Could very well happen. Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler was on the Usman Colby card, UFC 268. UFC loves stacking Usman cards. 268, 251, and 261 were crazy good cards. 258 wasn't, so let's not talk. 258 was garbage on paper. Let's go back and look up that fight card. UFC, I think that was the worst fight card of last year on paper and in practice too. Ew, it was worse than I thought. Ew. Macy Barber versus Alexa Grasso co-main event on a pay-per-view. Ew, I want my money back. I'm calling up my credit card company disputing that charge from February 2021. Ew, we were robbed. We've been robbed. I paid for that event. I'm disgusted with myself. I'm disgusted with myself that I paid for that. Macy Barber versus Alexa Grasso co-main event. Ew. I'm actually really disturbed right now. I'm really, really disturbed. And third fight down, Calvin Kattar, Ian Heinisch. Ricky Simone versus Brian Kelleher. I mean, these are not pay-per-view main card fights. That's literally a terrible fight card. Granted, there was a lot of fights that were canceled, but they weren't particularly great either. Prelims, Rodolfo Vieira, Anthony Hernandez, Bilal Muhammad, Diego Lima. Yeah, the prelims weren't great either. Yeah, ugh. UFC 258, let's not talk about that. I'm embarrassed of that card. So, I don't think Islam needs to fight Beneil next, but I can't help but feel bad for Beneil. He's getting kind of neglected at the moment. Yeah, but he's injured. You streaming the Austin card, right? If so, you feel how the... Yes, I will be streaming the Austin card. It's a good card this weekend. I feel like people geeking out about it because Apex card have been so bad lately. This would have been an average fight night card a few years ago, an Apex card beginning of the pandemic. Yeah, but I still think it's a solid card. The following week is a great fight night card, even by previous standards. The fight card, so this week coming up, I think is a solid fight card. Okay, I think it's very, very solid. Calving Kattar, Josh Emmett, Donald Cerrone, Joe Lozon, Tim Means, Kevin Holland, Joaquin Buckley, Albert Duraev, Damir Ismagulov versus Guram Kutateladze. Julian Marquez versus Gregory Rodriguez, Yanez Kelly, Jeremiah Wells, Court McGee, Jasmine Jadavicius versus Natalia Silva, Cody Stamann versus Eddie Wineland. I can't believe Eddie Wineland is still around. That is a solid card. As far as a fight night card, I give that a B. I give that roughly a B. The following fight night, which is at the Apex, which is weird that it's at the Apex instead of somewhere, are Mance Saruki and Mateus Gamrot, which has gotten shat on a little bit. I think it's ridiculous to people crapping on that card because look how good it is. Neil Magny, Shavkat Rakhmonov, co-main event. Thiago Moises versus Christos Gigas is on there. Umar Nurmagomedov, Nate Madness is on there, or Maness. Chris Curtis, Rodolfo Vieira is on there. That's a solid fight. Cody Durden, JP Buys, TJ Brand, not that great. So yeah, I think this is a solid card. I think maybe a hair better than the Austin card. But I also think you could arguably say the Austin card has a more relevant main event. Not to say that the Apex card doesn't have a good main event. Sarukian versus Gamrot, I'm pumped for. But, so, I'm super excited for Neil Magny versus Shavkat Rakhmonov for sure. There was a co-main event intended for 258. Can't remember. I think it was Chris Weidman, Uriah Hall. Who's the best women's strawweight right now? Strawweight. I'll say Weili. I can't find anything about the co-main for 250. I think it was Weidman versus Uriah Hall, but it got canceled. Do you think Dana will force Joe or Donald to retire? I hope so. I hope he forces them both to retire. Imagine that Masvidal and Conor fight for the BMF belt. I thought, yeah, I don't want to see the BMF belt. The BMF belt is a fake belt. Who wins, Demir or Turner? I'll say Turner. Joe, which fight are you most excited for? I'm excited for that Paris card. We got Gan, Tai, co-main. I think Whitaker, Vettori, Chukagian, Firat. It's Firat versus Andrade now. Chukagian's out. Built like a pay-per-view. Best fight night of the year. Calling it. I actually disagree. I think UFC London might be better. UFC London. Let's take a look. Let's just go back to Topology. It's easier that way. July 23rd is a fight night card. We got Blades Aspinall. We got Hermanson Till. We got Krylov Gustafsson. We got Paul, Craig, Volkan, Ozmir, Paddy Pimlet, Jordan Levitt, Muhammad Mokayev, Charles Johnson. I think that might be the best one. Let's take a look at Paris. Let's see Paris real quick. That's in September. Gone to Avasa, Whitaker, Vettori, Chukagian, Manafir. Yeah, this might be a hair better. Vettori versus Whitaker is a main event worthy in itself. So London and Paris are debatable. Weidman and Hall was supposed to be the co-main event. That's still terrible. Yeah, it wasn't that bad at the time. But looking back, it wasn't that great, though. Yair versus Zabit definitely has to go on my list of best fights we never got to see. Yeah, for sure, man. That's the one that got away. I'm more upset about that than Ferguson Habib. It's the one that got away. Do you think UFC 276 will be your first A+? You'll have to see, my friend. There's a chance. There's a chance, but I'm a tough grader. So I'll do that video probably maybe next week. Maybe next week. My UFC 276 video from like a month ago is still getting good views. The channel is doing very well, guys. The channel is doing very well. Let's see. Let's see some recent videos we got here. So, Calving Kattar versus Josh Emmett prediction. Only released it 2 days ago. Doing okay. Not doing the greatest, but doing solid. Video before that, almost 2,000 views. Video before that, 1,600 views. The post-fight was pretty massive. The post-fight did 2,000 views. I mean, the channel is doing better than ever right now. Better than ever. It's growing. We did our first ever interview. We made history. I'm continuing to pump out good content for you guys. At least I hope it's good. Weili Zhang, Ioana and Jacek did over 1,000. Shevchenko Santos did over 1,000. Which maybe doesn't sound that crazy. But for a channel of my size, 2 months ago, a big video of mine was getting over 1,000. And now it's like pretty much every video does over 1,000, So if you skip back the most recent videos I did, 2,000, 1,600, 1,300, 1,200, 700, 700, 800, 3,200, 700, 1,000, 3,000, 1,000. You know what I mean? You go back and you see a lot. And that's not even including some of the live streams that got over 1,000 too. I'm just looking at regular videos. So, we'll see. Would Talia Santos beat Weili? Maybe, I don't know. Different weight classes though. It's hard to say. Can you do a Shavkat Neil prediction? Yes, I will be doing that. I plan on doing that one. I've been wondering why Shane Burgos doesn't go up to 55. He's not going to be champion of featherweight, in my opinion, and he wouldn't be a small lightweight. Weight cut must be brutal. Love Burgos, by the way. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't think he'll have a lot of success there. That'd be my guess. Weili, well, knowing now that Weidman was going to break his leg in 5 seconds is pretty bad. Yeah, but even if it played out, it wasn't that great of a fight either. So, it wasn't great of a fight on paper, even if it did play out. Who would you have if Bisping versus Rockhold 3? I think Michael should have fought him again. I would have took Rockhold. Can I get your prediction on Gon Tai? I think Gon is going to wreck my boy Tai, pick him apart, and land some nasty leg kicks and 1-2s. I think Gon's going to pick him apart as well. I had to reread that for a second. I think Gon picks him apart, beats him up, finishes him in the later round. I think Tuivasa has to get an early KO. So, I haven't decided yet, French fries. Maybe, but I don't know if I'm going to have the time, and it's already Wednesday, so I only have 2 days to get views on it. 50-50. I might not. I haven't decided yet. It's crazy. I think you graded 275 at D+. Safe to say it's surpassed expectations. That main card for my money was great. Yeah, it's not about, and I think I might have said this in the video, it's not about how the fights are going to turn out. It's just a matter of the quality of fights, you know. The relevance of fights is most important to me. So that's why it was a D+, but obviously it surpassed expectations as far as excitement. But that's not really what the grade is about. I hope that makes sense to you. What do you think went wrong for Jan against Sterling? I think he was overconfident. Read a bloody elbow talking about how Figgy wants to move to 35 soon, and apparently he said he sees fear in Sterling's eyes. I think Sterling wins that fight. Just watched the Chris Curtis interview. Congrats, man. The first of many fighters on the channel. Also, awesome to see he's a fan. I know, man. He gave me the perfect opportunity. He gave me the perfect opportunity to interview him. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I've said this a couple times on the stream. I got nothing but positive feedback. If that's what you guys like, I'm going to have to continue to try to give you some interviews here and there. We'll see how often it happens. I have no idea as it stands. You know, it's still up in the air. But I appreciate the feedback. I love, you know, that you guys are enjoying it. And I'm glad that it seemed natural, which a lot of people have been telling me. Joey, if Izzy beats Jarrett and if Till beats Jack, and geez, how am I going to keep up with this? I feel like Izzy would want to defend against Till because he's a safer option, but the UFC is going to make Izzy Pereira. I agree. I just said would Talia beat Weili, not Talia Santos. Would Talia? I just said would Talia? Tatiana. For some reason, I'm thinking. Man, come on. Hold on a second. I'd pick Weili. Look, I get it. You know, let me White Magic, man, I hate those types of jokes. Honestly, I know this sounds crazy. I know you're just trying to make a lighthearted joke, but seriously, this is such a weird thing. This is such a weird thing to even say on the channel. I'm like obsessed with the Holocaust, and I want to visit Germany and see all the different sites and everything like that. And I absolutely hate when people joke about that. So come on, man, don't say that. You know, it's just not cool. You have it a D+ with Cop on the card, so it's more like a D- or an F. Very true. Very, very true. Very true. We need to send you a Sean. We need him to send you a Sean Strickland shirt. Stop it. I'm not wearing a Sean Strickland shirt. But that was funny that that's the first thing I noticed when he came on. Sad we never got Joanna versus Marina. Carla said she doesn't want to fight on Weili's time. She should have to wait. They should strip her, book Weili versus Marina. Carla will fight on the UFC's time frame. If not, the UFC will strip her. That was harshly put on my part. If Carla doesn't want to fight soon, take the belt from her and do an interim belt. Depends what time frame she wants to fight on. No, I'm not, man. Somebody asked this before, but that doesn't change the fact, man. I don't like hearing stuff like that, honestly. Like, nothing offends me at all, but I don't feel like something like that is something to joke about, you know. And you know, if you've researched enough about it, it's just what went on in that period of time. And I'm massive on history in general as well. It's just, I mean, it's not something I want to talk about on the channel. It's not something I want to sit here and talk about. But it's just not. It's not for me, and I don't really find it funny at all. Like that's it. So he retracted it. That's awesome. I appreciate it retracting it. It's just people think stuff like that is funny, and it's just not for me at all. You're telling me you wouldn't want to wear that to work? No, I would not. Weili versus Valentina. Weili versus Valentina. I don't know. Weili would be too undersized. If it happened at 125, if Valentina tried to come down to 115, the weight cut I think would affect her. Still can't even believe Rose threw the belt away. Yeah, all she had to do was be a little bit more active and she could have won. It was disturbing. How would Weili do versus Valentina at a catch weight? 50-50 at a catch weight. Like if they met at like 120, it'd be 50-50. But it's hard for me because Valentina looked like shit against Talia Santos. But Weili, I just think she's built perfectly for 115. So it's 50-50. At a catch weight, at 120, I'll go Weili. But I'm not super confident in that pick. I just think, I don't know for sure, but I think Valentina would have a massive reach advantage. Conor versus Mike Tyson just got announced. Stop it. Yeah, I know you're just trolling. Do you see John Jones successfully winning the heavyweight belt and defending it 4 times at least? I could see him winning the belt. Defending it 4 times is a whole nother story. Weili is on PEDs. I realize we can't prove that. Look at her physique. Dude, it's speculation. I get it. We all love to speculate. I've said stuff like that in the past. But it's like, it's pure speculation. We have no idea. She could be totally 100% clean. And we would still, just because she's very good and she looks strong and she has a great physique, we're saying she's on PEDs. But it doesn't always mean that's not always the case. Look at Anderson Silva. She's kind of scrawnier, not a lot of muscle definition. PEDs doesn't necessarily mean muscles, because PEDs can be stamina things. PEDs can be, like EPO is a stamina thing, but it's also a recovery thing, so you can train more. You know? I think Valentina could make 115. Could very well make 115, but what would the diminishing returns be? I don't know. Glover's chin was on PEDs. How did he survive that onslaught from Jiri Prochazka? I mean, there was multiple times I thought Jiri was going to finish him. He was just eating shots. How happy would you be if Tuivasa was the guy to spark Jones out cold? I may never stop smiling ever again. I wouldn't necessarily be happy. You know? I want to see Jones compete. If he got KO'd, he might retire. I love Jiri. I just don't think he has a style built for many title defenses. Agreed 100%. Agreed 100%. Who do you see dethroning Adesanya from the current roster? If I had to pick somebody, Alex Pereira, but I don't even necessarily believe that. Just best chance. There's probably someone that we're not thinking of right now. Agreed. Anderson was on PEDs also. He was strong AF. Yeah, there's so many guys that don't fit the mold of, oh, they're on PEDs, they're on steroids. Because people think, oh, big muscles mean steroids. But it could be other things, you know, like recovery inhibitors. Can Cejudo beat Sterling? Yes, Cejudo can beat Sterling. I would favor Cejudo to beat Sterling. Joe, how do you feel about Weili versus Yan Xiaonan for a Fight Night China card? I doubt they would do that. They would want to pin one of the Chinese fighters against a different fighter of a different nationality. I truly believe that's what they would want to do. Just because I think it would put off some of the fans, so they'd rather have someone to root for. They would put them both on the card rather than have them fight each other. So that's typically what they do. They don't pin Brazilians against Brazilians on Brazilian cards. They have before. I'm not saying it's never happened. They would do the same thing for the China card. Do you think Tatiana Suarez's chance at beating Valentina seems higher? Yes, for sure. But she's always out. She's always injured. Tuivasa might be the only guy I seen take the Black Beast power clean. Yeah, and he was almost finished too, which is crazy. For sure. Conor going to take the belt off of Izzy. Yeah, for sure. Izzy's definitely on roids. It's all speculation. It wouldn't surprise me either way, though. I don't think the UFC is going to chins anytime soon. Okay. I've never heard of chins, but I know what you're saying. Yes, I see this other message now, too. Do you think Brandon Moreno cringe or funny? Somewhere in between. I don't find him particularly funny. I don't find him particularly cringe. So, you know, if on this end's funny, on this end's cringe, it's somewhere dead center. A little bit cringe, a little bit funny. You know, very, very small percentages of each. Not really because they're doing that with Ortega Yair. What are you saying? Tuivas's chin is pretty ridiculous. Yes, it is. It is very ridiculous. I would agree with you 100%. Guys, seriously. Okay, let's hold on a second. What's going on, Panthers Rule? I'm looking back at the YouTube analytics right now. We have 41 people in the stream right now, and we have 22 likes, guys. What is going on here? The more you guys like the stream, the more it gets recommended to other people. We're going to go for maybe another 10, 15 minutes. Like the stream. It takes 1 second to like the stream. Why do we have all these lurkers in here and nobody's liking the stream? Come on, it's a free thing to support the channel. I would appreciate it if you just run up the likes. So go like it. Who's in here lurking right now? I'm always curious. Let me know if you're in here lurking, you've been listening to this stream, but you haven't been interacting in the chat. It's no big deal. I'm just curious. I always like to know who's in here listening. We got like 10, 12 people interacting in the chat. We got 40-some people in here. So, Tuivasa nearly got chinned by Greg Hardy. Best weight class in the UFC, and why is it 155? It's 135. I will give you a like. I always do. Appreciate you. Let's see if we jumped up a little bit. We still only got a couple more likes. Come on, guys. I always wonder if there's people who are in here every single week and they just never participate in the chat. Because I know there's 100% people that do that. Because I was one of those people on YouTube in general, not necessarily MMA YouTube or anything like that, where I would watch people's live streams and I don't ever participate in the chat. So I know there's people that watch this channel who never participate in the chat, but they're always in the streams. But it's just so weird. I'll never know what their name is on YouTube. And there's always a lot. I don't think Figgy want to cut all that weight unless Uncle Dana gets the checkbook out, which he's not. I forgot to like. Well, you better go like right this second. Come on, guys. How about this? Look. If we get over 40 likes, which is going to be tough, if we get over 40 likes, we'll go to we'll make this a 2-hour live chat. We usually do typically an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half live chat. We will make this a 2-hour live chat if we get over 40 likes on the stream in the next 10 minutes. So there you guys go. You have your goal. Don't be going and getting fake likes on there with your other accounts, but we got to see. Are people who were saying Valentina could beat some men's flyweight and bantamweights delusional? Yes. It's 135. Great interview also. I'm glad that you enjoyed the interview, Vince. Thank you for the great feedback. Carson Taylor, I don't think I've ever seen your name before. But appreciate you. I don't know. I've noticed that people put UFC in their title and anything always has like 10 times the views as it does likes. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't know. I think people just don't do it. It'd be pretty cool to see a UFC event in Japan. Feels like a while since they've done that. Yeah, it's been a long while. I remember they did UFC 144 off the top of my head. I didn't search anything. 144, Benson Henderson, Frankie Edgar, I believe was in Japan. I'm a lurker. Yeah, and we had an interesting conversation via comment the other day. Paulo Costa. Lurker, what's up, John Gilboy Jr.? What's going on? I imagine there are some that are listening while doing something else. They don't comment. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. You know, they said they wouldn't do that Weili Yan Xiaonan for China card, but they did it with Brazilian cards, and we're seeing it with Ortega Yair. We've seen it, but it's not, they avoid it if possible is what I'm saying. Run up the damn likes. Thank you. Come on, guys. Wipe your feet before you enter. Who wins, Patty or Thiago Moises? Thiago Moises. Conor versus Sandhagen, who wins? I mean, that's never going to happen. 2 different weight classes. I'll say they're both the same size, Sandhagen. I am thy lurker. Awesome. Ortega isn't Brazilian. No, I think he's saying they're both of Hispanic descent. Ortega, Yair are both Hispanic. I think that's what he's saying. Not that they're Brazilian. Let's see. Oh, now all of a sudden the likes are starting to pop up now. So we'll see. We're gonna go for an hour and a half, and we'll see where we're at the end of an hour and a half. I don't see the UFC going to Australia anytime soon due to their politics. Who knows? I have no idea what their plans are. I like having the live crowds. So at first I didn't care all that much, but the live energy from the crowd is awesome. So, you know, if they can go places, go places. I'm excited to see it. That's what I want to say. The energy in the arena is awesome. I mean, imagine having UFC 270. I know that the crowd at Singapore wasn't all that great, but that would have sucked had that not been in front of a live crowd. I wish I would have been there. I wish I would have went to Singapore. Not that that was in the cards, but that would have been awesome. Let's see. Look, guys, let me X out of all these tabs. I just exited out like 17 tabs here. 17 tabs. The interview's starting off pretty decent, and it's got a lot of comments. It's got a lot of likes so far. If you guys have not watched the interview yet, I need you guys to go to the interview after this stream. I'll post the link in the chat after the stream, and go watch it, like it, and comment on it. I would greatly appreciate it. Help boost it in the algorithm. Also, if you guys want to support the channel, there's a bunch of ways you can support the channel. One, just make sure to be in the live streams and like the live streams and everything like that. But also, you can become a member of the channel. It is $3 a month. You become part of the members only Discord, where I tell you guys everything that I'm working on. You guys knew I was doing the Chris Curtis interview last night. I post snippets of the interview on the Discord last night. You get loyalty badges next to your name. You get custom emojis. It's $3 a month. And you get extra live stream replays as well. And eventually I'm going to open up another tier and do members only streams in general from the jump. So it's $3 a month. It's a great way to support the channel. You can also buy an MMA Joey t-shirt. The link is in the description for that as well. Also, if anybody there's a few people that donate via PayPal all the time. Appreciate you guys. The link for the PayPal is down in the description as well if you want to donate via PayPal. It's all in the description. Who is the next Russian champ? Ankalaev. Paulo Costa's ceiling at light heavyweight. It's not very high. Looking back, do you think Fight Island was the best thing the UFC ever did? No. I mean, it was good promotion, but it was actually... They made it seem like they were going to a remote island, and it was just chilling in Abu Dhabi. So, do you think Jim Miller could fight long enough to fight at 300? A year and a half, probably. Any advice for someone just starting MMA? Like training MMA? I would just say keep it up. Keep it up, you know what I mean? Be consistent. Don't give up. These things can apply to a lot of things, you know? Just be consistent. Always constantly try to strive to improve. There you go. Have you ever considered taking a long break from MMA, especially when it takes a lot of time of your life? No, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Have you ever been to a UFC show? What was the energy like? I've been to pro wrestling shows and they're crazy. The energy was pretty crazy. I went to UFC 244. I went to UFC 172. And I went to UFC DC, which was Alistair Overeem versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike. My nose is itching like crazy right now. Joey, who's your biggest prospect in the men's division and female division? No, Hamzat doesn't count. Umar Nurmagomedov and Manon Fiorot. How'd you get the Chris Curtis interview? Chris Curtis watches the channel. He was in my chat one day. I didn't believe it was him. He video called me. I tell the story in the interview. He video called me. We kind of, started talking there. It's on stream. It's all happened live. And then I said, hey, man, if you want to do an interview on the channel, I'd love to interview you before your fight. And he said, yeah, just let me know. Say the word, and I'm down. And so I messaged him. Hey, man, you still down to do it? And he said, yeah, I'd love to. So it's all in the interview. Amazing interview, Joey. Also, hi, Joey, and hi, everyone. What's going on, Kevin? Thank you for the kind words. Chris Curtis was cool. You can tell you're a good person. You can tell you are a good person. That's why good. Okay. I don't know what this message is. Oh, join members. Yeah. Thank you. What's up with Cub Swanson? Love watching you fight. You looked great last fight. Apart from the Giga kick, maybe Swanson versus Zombie. That could be a fight to make. Things are happening. Oh, that's why good things are happening. I understand what you're saying. Makes sense. But thank you. Thank you, Vince. Appreciate it. Who wins Francis Ngannou versus strawweight top 15? Stop it. The entire top 15 at one time, I'll take the entire top 15. Islam's the next Russian champ. You're right. Could be. He's going to be the first to get a title shot. So he might be first, but I favor Oliveira to win that one. Yeah, don't plan on being a pro. Enjoy the process. I love training MMA, and I am 1,000 years old, I guess. I still remember the first UFC event I went to had 3 different fights in the crowd. That was pretty intimidating. Yeah, we didn't have any fights in the crowd. I went to the press conference for UFC 245 while being there for Fight Week UFC 244. I went to the weigh-ins. I went to the fights. I had a great time. Had a great time. It was a great experience. And I even, when I was leaving the UFC fights, I saw Matt Serra in the subway. I didn't say anything to him. He was drunk as hell, but I saw Matt Serra. I still remember you. Okay, thank you for being a super fan, bro. Appreciate it. Chris Curtis is cool AF. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Chris Curtis is awesome. Okay, guys, so I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm going to post the link for the interview, the Chris Curtis interview. I need you guys to go watch it. Watch the entire thing. That helps me most on YouTube watch time. Like it and comment on it. You know, if you guys do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Here is the link to the interview. Thank you for joining me for the weekly live chat. I do this every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So join me next Wednesday, and I will be streaming Calving Kattar, Josh Emmett, UFC Vegas 57 on Saturday. So join me for the fight card. Appreciate you guys so much for joining me. And I will see you guys in the next video, next stream. Enjoy the rest of your night.